blasters on full.
What's up guys, Gripe here with another review, and today we're going to check out the Ronin Boba Fett figure from Bandai Tamashii Nations, and this is part of the Star Wars movie realization line. So we'll check out the packaging first as always, and I have to say this has really nice packaging. I really like it. It's a very high quality glossy cardboard. You see this really nice picture up front. You've got the movie realization logo in the top right corner. Bottom right corner you've got the Tamashii Nations and Bandai logos. To the left you have the Star Wars logo and the name of the figure below that, Ronin Boba Fett. And again, it's a really nice picture up front of the Ronin Boba Fett character. And on the side here, we have a close-up of the helmet and chest of the Ronin Boba Fett and the movie realization logo in the bottom. On the back, you've got a few different poses. You've got a close-up of all the different accessories, as well as how they are attached to the figure on the legs there. You've got some information on the figure. You've got Ronin Boba Fett here on this side with the Disney logo. On the top, you've got Ronin Boba Fett again, and same thing on the bottom. So let's open this box and take a look on the inside of the packaging, which is also really nice. You see they've got a nice little text here. It's against a star field with the blue text scroll that they have in most of the Star Wars movies. You also have a little pamphlet here, and this has information on all the accessories and how they attach to the figure. And there's nothing on the back here. And on the inside, you've got the figure and all the accessories really nicely laid out and secured in there with this plastic. You can see all the different swords, knives, guns, jetpacks, and the figure itself. So now check out the accessories, and we will start with this awesome gun. It's a combination of the EE3 blaster carbine that Boba Fett normally has and a Japanese matchlock rifle. You can see it's got a really nicely detailed sculpt, excellent paint job. I love the patina that they added to the barrel and the rust around the screws and the scope. You also have this movable matchlock mechanism. Definitely the coolest gun I think I've ever gotten as an accessory with an action figure. And the figure also comes with this nice looking katana. It's a little on the short side, but I do believe it is a katana. It's got a fairly nice sculpt to it. The handle is especially detailed. There's not a whole lot to the blade other than the metallic paint, but you can see the handle is really nicely detailed in both sculpt and paint, as it has the brown leather straps wrapped around and the black underneath. And just come with this green plastic sheath. Slots right in here, and it does fit very nicely in the sheath. It's very snug. There's no rattle or extraneous movement. Once it goes in, it's going to stay in until you pull it out. We also have this really nice solid feeling steampunk style jetpack for Boba Fett, and it has a really nice sculpt on it and especially nice paint job. I really like the metallic blues they use here and have a nice gradient to them. The missile here does detach. And again, just really nice sculpt and especially nice paint job on this. I really like all the colors that are on this backpack. And again, it does feel nice and sturdy as well. Now we get to the ridiculous array of daggers and knives that come with this figure, and all of them are really nicely sculpted and painted. You can see this one is kind of like a throwing dagger. It's got the silver edges on the blade, and the rest is a little bit of a rust color. You have this, almost looks like a throwing dart, and you got some wraps sculpted and painted on the handle there. And this one is three-dimensional, and that goes on his forearm. All the rest go on the lower legs. And we also have this thing. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is. It has a rust color to it, and judging by the shape and color, I'd almost think it's something to go along with the gun, but I'm not exactly sure what. But it is an interesting accessory, and again, that goes on the lower leg of the figure. And you have this dagger here, and it's got some nice wraps painted on there and sculpted into it. And another dagger, and I'm guessing this is sort of a wood or bone handle dagger. You can see the color that's on that. And he also comes with this chisel knife, and again, nice sculpt and paint on it, and you can see the handle is sculpted as well as painted with the brown leather wrap. Now check out the hands, and this figure does come with 5 different sets of hands, and they are all excellently sculpted and painted. We have the fists here, and you can really see the great detail on the paint job with the nice black wash applied over the entire hand. And as well as the sculpt, you have these really nice thread details in between the 2 armor plates. And overall, they're just really nicely detailed on all the different sets of hands. You have these open kind of clutching hands here. I'm not sure the exact use of some of these, but they do look really cool. And you have the gripping hands, and this is a bit of a more open grip. Works probably better with the gun or maybe some of the smaller knives. And you have another openish grip here There's slight variations on about 3 of these different sets of hands. And we also have these open trigger finger hands, which are used for obviously holding the gun. And these fit in very nice, very snug, but once it's in there, it fits perfectly on the gun. So now check out the sculpt and paint on the figure itself, and this figure is absolutely stunning. It's got a great sculpt, lots of really nice details and texture sculpted into it. I love the paint they chose, great colors, and they were applied really nicely. Got some nice Padawan braids here. Those look really good. They also feel good. It's nice soft plastic. You've got the cape here, and it's just a flat brown. They probably could have added a little bit more weathering onto that, but it still looks pretty good. Soft plastic on the back of the helmet, as well as the back of the legs and front and side. And you also have some soft plastic here on the neck, and that's all to allow better range of motion when you're posing the figure. You also have some great details here on the helmet. I love this rust wash they did over the rivets. You also have some nice battle damage there. Let me bring it closer so you can get a better look at that. You got the Mandalorian emblem here on the shoulder. You've also got the other emblem here on the chest that Boba Fett usually has. You've got some great details here under the neck piece. You also have some details even on the neck itself. You can see some nice wrinkles and texture there. You've got some really nice looking armor. Got a great scanner here. I love this scanner. I love the red they used on it, and it's got a nice steampunk feel. Again, just great lines and rivets on this helmet. You also have some really nice back armor here, and the textures in this area are just phenomenal. You've got this brown leather texture belt. Then you've got this reddish rope here with a different texture, and you've got these strand areas here. Everything, again, is just different texture, different look and feel to it, and it looks really nice. Got some nice armor here on the arms. I especially love this forearm. A really nice steampunk feel to it. Love the black wash they applied to it, and again, love the colors. Pouches look amazing. Great texture sculpted into them all. Love the paint on them. You also have some really nice textures here on the leg, unique from the rest of the figure. And the inside of the boot is even sculpted and has a black wash applied to it. Something you'll rarely, if ever, see, and still looks great. And you've got more of this great leather texture here on the leg armor. Some really interesting treading they've added to the bottom of the feet, and I love that they made it look dirty. The sandals overall look really nice. I love the silver they used. The socks look great. Again, this is just an overall really nicely detailed and painted figure. Got some great battle damage there on the chest. I can only say good things about the sculpt and paint on this figure. I really, really love it, and I really like the way it looks on my display. So now I'll check out the articulation on the figure. And the helmet scope does move. It goes down about 90 degrees and straight up. Double jointed neck and head. You can have them look down that far and up that high. You can get some pretty good tilt left and right on the head. You can also rotate it completely around, and it is soft plastic on the bottom, so that helps. The shoulder armor does move, and it is on a ball joint on top of a peg, as you can see, and that peg itself does move up and down on the shoulder in that little channel there. And the armor does rotate a little bit on the ball joint, not a whole lot, but you can get some movement out of that as well. Get some pretty good movement of the shoulder inside the socket itself. You can also rotate the arms completely around, although I forgot to show you. You do have a bit of a upper bicep swivel. There is not that much rotation on it. It does have good double jointed elbows. You can only bend it that far due to the armor. You can get some rotation at the lower bicep as well, as you can see, and on the forearm. And again, you are a little bit hindered by the armor. You can rotate the hand completely around, and it is a hinge type joint. You would just have to kind of play with it to get a different angle on the hinge. This figure does have a pretty good diaphragm joint. You can get him back about that far and forward about that far. You can also get a little bit of side-to-side movement, but you're not getting that much, maybe 10 degrees or so each way. Can get some rotation as well. And it's got pretty good hips, but you're only getting the legs out about that far. Can get a pretty good kick forward, though. As you can see, you can get just under 90 degrees. Kick back, you can get pretty far, but you kind of have to extend it away from the body to get that angle. Does have double jointed knees. And you can see you can get a pretty good bend on those. The upper legs are a bit on the large side, so it does block you a little. You can get some rotation at the upper thigh here. You can rotate that pretty much all the way around, or at least a good amount. You can also get a little bit of rotation there in the knee. As you can see, you are a little bit hindered by the way the cut is. The ankles go up about that high, down about that far. And you can rotate the foot completely around, and you do have a bit of an ankle pivot there as well. So now I'll check out the size and scale of the figure, and he stands at just under 7 inches tall, so that means he's not really going to scale with any of the other 6-inch Star Wars lines, and this is the only movie realization figure I have, so I'm not quite sure how that line scales within itself. Once I get some additional figures, I will let you guys know. So overall, I have to say I absolutely love this figure. This figure is amazing. This is the first movie realization figure that I've bought, and it makes me want to get the entire line. It's currently my favorite figure in my collection. That's how good this thing is. I love everything from the sculpt and paint all the way down to the packaging. It's got amazing accessories. The only issue with this figure is the scale. It is 7 inches, so it won't fit in scale with your other 6-inch lines, but it's just such a gorgeous figure that I don't think it matters. I highly recommend this figure to anyone interested. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Subscribe for more.
Set blasters on full.